Hi, good evening, everyone, and welcome to At Home with Jeremy Monteiro. Really very happy to be here today to play some music for you and also share some items that I recorded with some good friends and wonderful performers, as well as to share with you some very nice interviews. I've got a really nice show lined up for you this evening. First up, after I play a song for you, I'm going to play a song for you live, as I like to do during the show. So it's a true live stream show. After that, I will have the Vice President of the Jazz at Lincoln Center, Mr. Todd Stoll, who's also the President of the Jazz Education Network, and who organizes the JAN Conference every year. And people from all over the world come in, and students, professional musicians all attend, and it's always a great gathering. Then I'll be playing some more music for you and then bring on my very special guest and a good friend, the wonderful singer Laura Fiji, who just released her new single from her international release of her album, Laura Goes East, and we'll be chatting as well and then playing a song together for you. And the last part of the show, please stay tuned because I want to share with you the last concert I did in Singapore before all this happened. After the concert in Singapore in December, I had one more big concert in Jakarta, and I haven't actually had a chance to perform for all of you live since. So I'd like to share a tune with the great Vanessa Robin, wonderful singer, who will be at the end, towards the end of the show together with me. So let me start off by playing this tune by Dr. Billy Taylor. It was written during the early 60s, during the time of the civil rights movement waking up. And of course, it's relevant today. And Dr. Billy Taylor used to have a radio show, and he used to play this song every time before the radio show, where he played some great music for everyone. Billy Taylor actually visited Singapore in the 80s and to play at the Singapore Jazz Festival, and together with the great bass player Victor Gaskin, who ended up coming back and staying in Singapore for 15 years. So Singapore must be very inviting to jazz musicians. So we have quite a few who have moved here and live here now. And of course, we welcome all the great jazz musicians to come and visit Singapore and share in our music and also play your music for us and collaborate with us. So here's Dr. Billy Taylor's I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free. very much. And that was I Wish I Knew How It Would Feel to Be Free by Dr. Billy Taylor. So that is a song that really caught my ear when I was in my teens and listening to the radio. They used to actually play his program on BBC. Sometimes actually even our local stations used to carry his program because it was such great music. So now, for our next item, I'd like to now bring you to an interview that I did just earlier with the Vice President of the Jazz at Lincoln Center, Vice President of Education. And he works very closely with Wynton Marsalis to create all the programs for education all over the U.S. And of course, he is also the President of Jazz Education Network, which is an organization that invites musicians, students, as well as professionals from all over the world to go and meet and take many wonderful courses and attend seminars and workshops and master classes, and also to perform. So here's Mr. Todd Stoll.
Hi, Todd Stoll, Vice President for Education at Lincoln Center and great trumpet player. Thank you so much for joining me on this chat.
It's glad to be here, Jeremy. It's great to finally see you half a world away from New York City here.
Yeah, and thank you so much for agreeing to play on the track with me. It's going to be a lot of fun putting it together, and I can't wait to play it on my show this coming Sunday.
Thank you for the opportunity. It's always great to embrace the international aspirations of jazz. That's what we jazz is one of those musics you can hear anywhere in the world, and it's a common language that we all speak.
Absolutely. It's a language of peace. And actually, very often when we try and bring culture from our part of our countries in the world to go overseas, some culture that can actually create a little bit of tension, but with jazz, it doesn't, because it's, there's no words to argue about usually with this instrumental music. And then the melodies and the harmonies are so universal and so readily accepted,
Yeah. Amen. Amen. We're so thrilled with all the work you do there in Singapore to, spread the message of love and peace and acceptance that this music has. Thank you. And just keep on doing it.
Thank you very much. Also, thank you for inviting the Jazz Association Singapore Orchestra, or JASO, as your president's choice, being the president of the Jazz Education Network as well. We were so honored to go to the U.S. to play at the Jazz Education Network conference in 2019 and be there with all of you in Reno, Nevada. Well, thanks for that, too.
Yeah. Well, no, thank you for coming. It was our honor to have you. The band was just absolutely killing. We had a good time in Reno, and we hope you guys come back sometime. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Well, I was there this time as well in New Orleans, and I was happy to be a free agent floating around. Yeah, I have some good friends in New Orleans, like Leroy Jones, the trumpet player, is a friend I met in 1985, 86. And he recorded on my very first album as a guest in 1986, Back to Basics. I got to see him in New Orleans as well, and hung out with him.
Oh, that's great. Boy, isn't New Orleans a great place for a jazz conference?
Yes, it is. It is absolutely wonderful. I booked the hotel a little late, so I had to stay a little bit further, but that gave me a chance to have a bit of a walk.
Hey, man, you know the president. You should have called him. I could have hooked you up.
Okay. Next time I will. So tell me.
Jazz is all about those connections.
Yeah, that's true. So tell me now. I mean, now you've been having to work at home for a while now, and many people who are at home, they kind of just chill out. I have a friend he says he's doing nothing but listening to all his vinyl jazz records, and because he can do that, right? I mean, he said if I could do that, I would do the very same thing, But what have you been doing, kind of at stay home and working from home? What have you been busy with?
Yeah, so we're about to enter our 12th week, and it's funny. When we started quarantine, we Jazz Lincoln Center, we immediately, when this started, we took all of our education programs as well as concerts and other kind of advocacy projects we were working on, put them online. I actually feel like I'm working more hours now, and probably most of our employees and team, because you get in a home environment and you just never end it. You just keep working. So we have probably 4 or 5 education events online every day. A lot of those are public. You go to jazz.org and see the whole schedule. We have workshops at the Jazz Ellington Center, orchestra members. We have elements with Winton. We're releasing concerts from our vault, recordings. There's a full suite of programs online. And then next week, we're doing our, as you know, part of our education programs is a program called Essentially Ellington. We have a big national competition, which we had to suspend, which was usually held in early May.
Yeah.
And we've put the entire festival online. We added 5 international bands. So we have 23 bands all performing online with recordings they did back earlier in the year. Live judges, interviews. We have a whole week of events starting next Monday and going through Friday. And then Friday we have the festival event all day. So we've put the whole thing. It's our 25th anniversary. We have nearly 7,000 schools worldwide that have been in the program. They've played nearly, we've had over 350,000 Ellington charts, as well as other great composers, arrangers like Betty Carter, Mary Lou Williams, Fletcher Henderson, that we've distributed. And we're just going to celebrate in a time of great national turmoil for us.
Yes.
We're going to celebrate the beauty and the triumph of Black music and Black thought and Black expression through all the great music of Duke Ellington and the success and triumphs of these young people.
Yes.
And we're just going to celebrate in a time of great national turmoil for us.
It's an amazing organization that all of us around the world who have similar organizations look to as the beacon for all of this. Not just the content, but the way that the organization is run and the way that it reaches out and how it's so inclusive in everything that it does. I mean, the Jazz Congress is one of the greatest initiatives. I sometimes say that I'm not also sure whether it's good to use a Catholic analogy, but for me, to go to the Jazz and Lincoln Center for the Jazz Congress is a little bit like going to the Vatican, and you get to kind of hang out with all the cardinals, as a bishop or a parish priest, like going all the way there, and hanging out with all the bigwigs, and then, of course, all the jazz people, the higher up the jazz people are, the nicer they are. And that's a characteristic of
So next time you come for the Jazz Congress, we're going to lock you in a room until some smoke comes out, and then we'll let everybody lock everyone in the Appel room until we have white smoke coming through the ceiling. No, that's awesome. The Jazz Congress is really a great event.
It is.
That, we really want to convene the jazz community and start to, bring people together. Like, we're so sometimes disconnected, and the truth is we're all really connected. We're sitting here talking, and we share stories, we share connections. The music itself calls us to be together. So the Jazz Congress is just a great way for the community to come together, and then to start addressing, issues of whether it's gender balance, racial balance, all kinds of things socially that jazz can address and has addressed throughout its history. That event is a great way for us to come together and do those things. So I look forward to seeing you this year.
Yeah. Well,
you're going to buy me dinner.
Yeah, for sure. I have to say that I was really pleased. I didn't actually know, pardon my ignorance, I didn't actually know what a great trumpet player you are until I found you online and heard you play, and you just really swing so well, and you've got some great the way you play is just so authentic and beautiful, and it's just really nice to have you join me on this tune that we're going to play together.
Well, and thank you. But I mean, I have what we call office chops. I used to play a lot more before I came here and started working. I just, I sit at a desk all day and look at spreadsheets. So it's good to get a chance to play with you.
Because I thank you. I am similar in the sense that I'm both executive director as well as music director, and trying to divide the time to practice and make music and compose and all of that. So we all know, because our friend Winton goes through the same thing, trying to balance the work as a managing director and as a music director. So I fully understand and can empathize with him on I absolutely can. So
yeah, well, Jeremy, I'm going to tag you for our Essential Ellington next week. We're doing something called the A-Train Challenge.
Yeah,
and I'm going to tag you in it to do a course of A-Train sometime next week. So
okay, I'll do that. So I want to ask you if you could just impart a few words to the young jazz players of Singapore. we have some really, really talented. I have a young saxophone player. His name is Sean, and he kind of sounds like Dexter Gordon in the style of Dexter Gordon, with the tone inflection and all the phrasing. I mean, of course, he has a ways to go, but just so beautiful to have people at that age having this kind of interest and passion for the music. So if you would share just a few words to all the young jazz musicians in Singapore.
I think it's twofold. Jazz comes out of Black American music, so you have to immerse yourself in the recordings and the spirit of that music and the solos, but also, intellectually, read books about jazz, read books by great Black authors, immerse yourself in the intellectualism around it. Because there are a lot of misconceptions that, these people created the music and they're just talented. No, there's a lot of great intellectual thought that goes into this music. A great place to start is with Albert Murray's book, Stomp of the Blues. But immerse yourself in the culture and then look around at your own Singaporean culture, what you can bring, elements of, folk music, elements of your native music and rhythms that you can bring to the music itself. And then become the best version of yourself. I mean, everyone who's young has to start somewhere and learn. That's why I say it's like architecture. Frank Gehry, the great modern architecture, the builder, he can build something that looks like it's sheets blowing in the wind, but underneath it is a foundation. Yeah. So you have to always have that foundation. That foundation comes out of the recordings and the intellectualism that this music was based on. So it's work. You have to do the work. Yes. Can't just go out and play jam sessions.
Fantastic. And so, Todd Stoll, thank you so much. And from Jazz Association Singapore to you and the Jazz Education Network, as well as the Jazz and Lincoln Center, we wish you all the very best in the coming months, and all the best with the Ellington Festival. And really looking forward to seeing you again before long, and just seeing you in person and making music again together.
Thank you, Jeremy. Take care. All best to you, and best. I hope everyone in that part of the world is safe and still swinging.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
And that was Todd Stoll. That was a really enjoyable conversation, and it's nice to be able to spend time with him. Before we went on for the official part of the interview, we also had a chance to chit-chat a little bit more and talk about what we're doing for both, in Singapore as well as in New York. So certainly it's a great pleasure to get to know him. And I as I mentioned in the interview, I just found out not long ago that he is also a really good trumpet player. So I'd like to ask all of you to please share this live stream, to share it on your Facebook. And also, if you can also start your own watch party so we have more people. Let me just tell you now, we have about 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, about 90-something people. Let's all across the 5 channels, the 3 Facebook channels and the 2 YouTube channels. So please share the stream so that we can all enjoy this together. And one of my friends, George Choti, hi George, he's actually hosting a watch party, and then he invites me to his watch party. Brother, I'm here doing the show. I can't attend your watch party, but thank you very much for starting a watch party. And here now is Todd Stoll and I playing There Is No Greater Love. Enjoy. And that was Todd Stoll and I jamming on There Is No Greater Love. So once again, thank you, Todd. Really a pleasure to have you on the show and to get a chance to finally get the chance to play with you and to meet you. And thank you for your wonderful, kind words of wisdom for all of us in Singapore, especially jazz musicians and young jazz students. Very invaluable words. I think it would be great if you, all of you who are watching or interested in what Todd said, you can always come back and watch the show again and listen to the really wonderful pearls of wisdom that he shared with us. And so now I'd like to move on. I want to say a very big thank you because we are now doing almost 100 people across the 5 channels. And if you keep sharing the stream and keep holding your watch parties, more and more people will come and join us. And that's what we want, right? So here's a song that I like to play for you. It's actually a gospel tune from the 1900s. And let me get my headphones. So it's a gospel tune from the 1900s, and it's a song of reconciliation, of peace, and of living together and in peace and harmony. And it became a song in both the early 1900s and later on, during the civil rights movement with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But I think that this song applies to all times and to all peoples, because of how lovely the sentiment is. So enjoy. This is called We Shall Overcome.
We shall overcome.
shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do, yes I do believe we shall overcome someday, someday. Thank you very much. We shall overcome, and we shall all overcome. So, in about a month from now, we were going to have the Jazz Association Singapore Gala, and this was going to be on July 11th. And I had another concert that was meant to be yesterday. Both occasions tied around the fact that I'm turning 60 this month in a few days. I already got my passion card, senior application form. So we were really looking forward to having our very special guest, Laura Fiji, come and perform with us, and to celebrate both my birthday as well as celebrate the Jazz Association Singapore with all of you wonderful, generous donors who are so kind to support us in our work and our endeavors to work in jazz in Singapore. And Laura also was really very sad that she couldn't come to perform. We are rescheduling it to early next year, as early in the year as we can make it. And we hope that all of you will stay with us and continue to support us. And hopefully we can all be together again. And we shall overcome COVID-19 as well, right? And we can be together again to celebrate and have Laura come and join us. It might be a bit late we can have a late birthday celebration, but all the same, it's going to be wonderful. So I was really pleased because this week, after I asked Laura to be a guest, I found out that the first single from the album I produced for her, Laura Goes East, which appeared on vinyl only in China 2 years ago, is going to be coming out internationally. And the first single just dropped earlier this week, What a Wonderful World. And so please check that out as well. I had a really good conversation with Laura, and after that, we're going to present to you a song which is the theme of the Jazz Association Gala, which is Let There Be Love, and we're going to perform that together. And after that, I'll talk to you a little bit about the gala and how you can help the Jazz Association Singapore, which is a charity in Singapore, and how you can help us do our work if you feel so inclined. So here's my very lively and fun conversation with the superstar singer, Laura Fiji.
Hello, Laura Fiji. How are you, my dear friend? My organic
I'm
singer.
Very good. I miss you guys. I want to come.
Yes, you have to come and play with us very soon. How's things over in Holland? How are you doing? And what have you been doing in the last 3 months?
All my concerts have been cancelled, put to next year. So no singing. But, I have a few passions, and one of them is my garden. So I have a huge garden. So I've been working on it every day. We have beautiful weather. So, it's for me, it's like you get so much inspiration, you know, working in the garden and in the soil and everything. So
Yeah.
I love it. Secondly, next year will be my 30th anniversary as a solo artist. So I'm writing a book.
Yes.
And yes, with a lot of pictures in it. So it will be very nice. And well, you know it, of course, because I already told you. But, you know, I'm going to say that Jeremy wrote a piece too.
Oh,
Yes.
it's my pleasure. It's an honor to be
asked.
Why?
You know why, yeah? You know why.
And besides that, congratulations on the launch of the first single from the international release of Laura Goes East, that wonderful record that we got to work together in China.
Yes. Yes, it was actually, you know, like end of 2018 that we were in the studio, and it was launched on an LP in China. Yeah. Last year we did a great concert in April. It was so nice, and all the musicians that were on the CD were also there. I loved it. I really loved it, and it sounds really good, really good.
Yes. I enjoyed so much. I enjoyed recording and working with you because, you know, we had worked together with the Singapore Symphony Orchestra a few years ago, but we only had a few small conversations, right? And we didn't really get a chance to hang out so much. But during the recording, we were together for 2 weeks. It was great. Yeah.
Yes. And with the Singapore, the Symphony Orchestra, that was in 2009.
Wow. Time really flies, huh?
It does. I remember we were, the president was there, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes. And we played with the Symphony Orchestra, and then he left, and then we played with the combo.
Yes, that's right.
You know, with your band?
Yeah.
That was really nice night. Really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and China was also very, very nice. And remember, we had that young boy, C.C. Lee. He's only 15 or 16. He's now 17.
Oh, incredible. And I've met him a few years ago when he played also in one of my shows. He was a little tiny boy, and now he's huge. He's big and plays the saxophone and the trumpet, and you know, it's a real big talent. Yes.
Well, Laura, you know, for me it's such an honor because, you know, I grew up. Well, not grew up, but when I was a young man driving in my car, I would have your CDs in my car, and I was courting my girlfriend then, and you know. It was just the most beautiful music to have for courting. And I'm not the only one. A few of my friends said that they use your albums also in the car driving their girlfriends around.
Well, they use it in different ways as well. So, but I won't say it.
So tell me, I mean, you had a wonderful pop career before you moved into jazz and your solo career. So who are your influences in jazz? And because you're such a natural singer, you know, we have a joke between us. I call you my organic singer because you have such a wonderful way of singing. That's not, you know, it just comes from the heart, from the soul. It's not really so thought about, you know. And so I'm very curious. I mean, what are the influences that got you to have this particular style and this way of singing?
Well, I think
pop
the
career
organic
before
thing
you
is
moved
because
into jazz,
you know, I don't read music. I never had any singing classes, so everything does come from the heart. And I was brought up with this music, with the jazz, the crooners, the French chansons, Michel Legrand. I lived in South America. There's all those music that were, it got connected with me. All these influences. But I think, to me, I think Julie London is it, because she's the one she tells stories. She's not trying to sing. She's trying to tell a story. And all these songs have beautiful stories about love, about happiness, about sadness. And she really knew how to project them. And that's why I really love Julie London.
Well, you know, every time that I get a chance to play with a fantastic artist like you, and like to spend 2 weeks in the studio, and I learned so much from you because, you know, I've recorded 45 albums so far, but I'm recording my first vocal album this year, and it was so fortuitous for us to work together because I stole a lot of stuff from you, you know, the way you track and so on and so forth. So it's just wonderful timing to to be able to watch you work and learn from you. That was really wonderful.
But that I think also in the studio with the musicians and the technicians, it should be a great time. It's not only music; it's the connection and with each other, and that is so important, because that's what makes you feel right to do the singing. There should be fun. There should be, and that's what I had those weeks, in the studio with you guys and the technicians, and it was really, really great working there.
Yeah, same here. So I feel very sorry that we were meant to do this nice concert together in July to do the fundraising for the Jazz Association of Singapore, and also to celebrate my 60th birthday. Can you believe it?
Was that on that day? When is your birthday?
The birthday is actually 20th, but I was going to do one concert actually June the 6th with a whole different group of people with a symphony orchestra, and then we were going to do the show with you for the gala for the Jazz Association Singapore with the Jazz Association Singapore Big Band Orchestra, and then that's really something that I was looking forward to so much. But we hope to do it, and we've rescheduled it for the early part of the year next year. So
we will.
Yeah, we will.
Everybody in the world has to be very careful, and so that we can all get together again. I miss this socializing. That's what I miss throughout this whole thing. Yeah. Staying apart and saying hello from far, and we're not that kind of people. We're people that like to socialize, to hug, and so this is what I miss.
Yes, certainly. I think
we'll be there.
Yeah. And whatever it is, this show is going to go on. I mean, if we have to wait for a little while, so we've got a couple of dates booked for next year, early next year, for the venue, and whatever it is, if we have to delay slightly, but the show will go on, and we'll have you over. And the theme for the gala is "Let There Be Love," so which is one of the songs we've played together, and it's just beautiful. It's such a recollection of that great Nat King Cole version as well.
It is great, and we will do that song, absolutely.
Yeah. So.
And of course, a few of the songs of the new album.
Of course, absolutely. So I mean, we're gonna look forward. The big band is gonna be there, but we can do a couple of tunes with the combo as well. I think it'll be just wonderful.
Yes.
I mean, you're so gung ho. I mean, what I love about working with you is that you do whatever is needed to make the people happy and the audience happy. And at the end of the day, it's about that. It's not just about being a great musician or whatever, right? We do this because of the people, right? Because the people
right. And if they're happy, I'm happy too.
Yes, absolutely. That's absolutely true. So thank you so much for agreeing to do a track with me on my live stream show at home with Jeremy Monteiro. And I thought that, what we would do is actually play for the people and the members of the Jazz Association Singapore, the donors and the jazz fans in Singapore, just to give them a little taste of what's to come when we finally get together again to make music. And so thanks for doing Let There Be Love together with me.
Let's do that. Great, Jeremy. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you also for agreeing to come on my birthday live stream show since I can't do a live show, we're going to do a birthday live stream show. And, looking forward to that little project as well. So
we will. Thank you.
Laura,
great.
Thank you very much. Always great to see you.
Take care. Stay healthy.
Yeah, you too.
I would like to say hello to all my fans and friends in Singapore and say thank you for supporting me all those years. I'm really looking forward to come and play with Jeremy Monteiro and the Jazz Association Singapore Orchestra when it's all safe for us to be together again. Now, in the meantime, let's all stay healthy. And remember, no matter what we do, no matter what happens, let there be love. Let there be wind, an occasional rain, chili con carne, sparkling champagne. Let there be birds sing in the trees, someone to bless me whenever I sneeze. Let there be cuckoos, a lark and a dove, but first of all, please, let there be love. Let there be cuckoos, a lark and a dove, but first of all, please, let there be love. Love, yeah, love. Let there be love.
And that was the wonderful Laura Fiji performing "Let There Be Love." It was really a lot of fun to play the tune with her, and also really happy that she's going to be performing on my birthday live stream show, which will include many wonderful musicians like Randy Brecker and also Winter Marsalis and others. So please stay tuned for that. More information will be appearing soon. Now, Laura Fiji was meant to come to play at the Jazz Association Gala, and we will be postponing the gala till early next year. But in the meantime, we do need your help to continue to do our work at the Jazz Association Singapore, and our work includes bringing jazz to all corners of Singapore, to people of all walks of life. So not just the Orchard Road crowd or the Civic District crowd, but to bring it to everyone in Singapore, and also to raise the level of excellence in jazz. We work very strongly with our youth. We have two wonderful programs for our youth musicians. One is a mentorship jazz festival called the Lion City Youth Jazz Festival, and with that festival we bring in legendary and multi-Grammy winning musicians and great leaders in jazz all over the world, from all over the world, from the US as well as from Europe and the UK, and they come here and they train our musicians. We rehearse from morning to night, the whole workshops, and then we perform a concert together. In other words, we immerse our youth musicians in a high level global professional experience. So that's really important stuff that we do. And we've had coming to work with us the legendary Benny Golson, as well as 7-time Grammy Award winner, who's now a friend of the association, Randy Brecker, and many really wonderful mentors who have really trained our musicians. The second thing that we do is that we have a scholarship, and we have a scholar, usually one scholar a year goes, international scholar that we send to most of the time to the US. And also we have a local scholarship for those who want to study here in Singapore. And in Singapore, we've had one graduate already, Don Wong, who's graduated from the LaSalle College of Music with a bachelor's degree, honors degree in jazz studies. And now we have Brian De Rosario, who's doing very well at LaSalle College of Music here in Singapore. In the US, we have at Berklee College of Music, John Cole, a young and talented bass player, studying for his bachelor's honors degree in jazz studies in Berklee College of Music. And also we have a master's degree student at Queens College in New York, and he's doing extremely well, and I just got to see his results. Straight A student. So it really feels very gratifying for all of us, the board of and directors of the Jazz Association, as well as the whole team, to see this kind of results and see how hardworking Rit is in doing. But in order to do this, we need your help. So I really would appreciate if you would consider donating to us along the way. The other thing that we do at the Jazz Association Singapore is that we try to bring Singapore jazz to the world. So we've gone to play at the JZ Shanghai Jazz Festival, the EFG London Jazz Festival, the Borneo Jazz Festival, the Jazz Education Network Conference in Reno, and other places. And we basically want to bring our jazz, Singapore jazz, originals, as well as our interpretations of the great American songbook, which is where most of the jazz repertoire comes from. We want to bring our music and our musicians to play for people overseas. And we hope also in our efforts to make Singapore one of the global jazz cities of the world, especially here in our region, working together with our partners in the region as well. The other thing that we've added on about a year and a half or two ago to our programs is we work in inclusivity, and we partner with Very Special Arts, which is an organization which helps children with autism as well as with other conditions such as Down syndrome and so on. And it's very gratifying. You have to witness it to see how music touches these wonderful young children. One thing that we do is we do a play with them usually. And to see the children from VSA together with our jazz musicians headed by Wei Xiang Tan, our associate music director, and work so hard together in rehearsals and perform a theater play together, a musical, it's out of this world. And I try not to miss if I'm not traveling. And the other thing we've done is have this poetry thing during the Writers' Festival as well. And that one, I wasn't able to be there, the first one, because I was overseas, but my colleagues sent me WhatsApp messages, and there I was in my hotel room in Shanghai and watching this just amazing performances by both the musicians in jazz and the young people of Very Special Arts reading poetry. And I tell you, I just wept in joy to see how well the students reacted to music, jazz especially. There was this one student who has a selected mutism, so she won't talk and she didn't want to read her poem. But the moment the music started playing, she agreed to read her poem, although she didn't want to face the audience. And this opening up had never happened before for her. So I think our work is very important, but we need your help to help us to do this. And for those of you who have already contributed to the gala, thank you so much for staying with us, even though we had to postpone the gala. We assure you that we promise you we want to do the gala, and as soon as we can, we will. And Laura, as you heard earlier, also is gung-ho to come and perform for all of you. But in the meantime, if you want to help us out, this is the URL, jazzassociation.sg/gala donate. I wanted to share my screen with you, but just before I went on air, they updated my switcher program, and so I couldn't share my screen. And it was no time. I would have been late for the show if I was updating. But please, I think my team members will be sharing in comments. They will be sharing in comments the URL, so you can click on it and you can see what that screen is all about and how you can contribute. And if you also want to make an outright donation, please go to www.jazzgala.sg/outright donation. And if you want to make a sizable donation, it's also a donation level where you can become a jazz ambassador. And of course, those of you who donate, especially the Singapore tax residents, you get a 250% tax deduction from your taxable income. I think that's very significant. I think not many governments in the world offer this. So if you gave us $1,000, let's say, you would be able to deduct $2,500 from your taxable income. And also the donations you give us are matched by the government. And so for every dollar you give us, the government adds another dollar. And that's amazing support that the government has for the arts in Singapore. So please help us out, and really appreciate all of you who have been supporting us. Once again, just to reiterate, this is the first URL, jazzassociation.sg/gala donate. And if you want to make a outright donation, it's jazzgala.sg/outright donation. We really do appreciate you, and we really do appreciate all your contributions. And thanks so much to all of you for joining me on this show. I have a couple of more tunes I want to play for you. The next tune I'm going to play for you is written by the great Joe Zawinul. Joe Zawinul was from Eastern Europe, actually, and he moved to the US when he was very young, and he had a penchant for playing very, very authentic bebop music. And even back then, the Black American musicians would welcome anyone who could play this music with the kind of authenticity that Joe Zawinul played this music. And so he was there playing with some of the great musicians like Lee Morgan and many people as well, and Cannonball Adderley in particular, which was amazing that he used to play with Cannonball Adderley. So this is a tune that Cannonball Adderley made famous, written by Joe Zawinul, and this is called Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. Enjoy. And that was Mercy, Mercy, Mercy by Joe Zawinul. I think back to my last couple of performances that I did with my different ensembles before the COVID hit. I'm glad I have a little bit of time, so I'm going to actually play for you two pieces from my last two concerts before COVID started to really put the kibosh, as they say in the US, or, put the stopped us from doing what we wanted to do, perform for all of you, because that's what we love doing more than anything else. So I'm going to go first, the most recent concert at the Java Jazz Festival, together with the Asian Jazz All Stars Power Quartet. We had my charter member Eugene Pao on guitar, but two of the members couldn't make it, so we had So Wen Ming standing in for Hong Chatananan, as well as Mark Kiripat from Thailand, standing in for Todd Stolentino from the Philippines, and they both, the guest members, did a wonderful job. And here's a kind of a montage of our performances at the Java Jazz Festival. Enjoy it.
before it sounds insincere. How many things can a man sacrifice?
How many ways?
How many secrets did I whisper in your ear? And how many heartbreaks did you take? And how many times did that heart remain? How many trials did you go through just for us? And tell me, how did you do it all alone? And how many lessons did I learn from you? How many failures did you help me through? And how many ways there aren't enough ways? How many things did we not get to say? How many feelings never saw the light of day? Oh, but how many lessons did I learn from you? How many failures did you help me through? And how many ways? How many ways? How many ways? See, there aren't enough ways.
Thank you. From Java Jazz. Good night.
And that was my last public performance at the, what was that? The end of February, I think it was, at the Java Jazz Festival. And since then, we haven't had the chance to go and play for you, and we really can't wait to go back and to be in a situation where we can go and play for you live. As much as I enjoy doing this and seeing you, and today I really feel your energy. Sometimes when I do this, I don't, because it's so I'm here in my room and you are there out there in the open, but just seeing your responses and also to see the numbers that are watching today, more than 110 people across the 5 channels, it really makes me feel like you're with me, and I really enjoy it, Jad. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for your support. I'm going to end the show now with, by the way, that was the Asian Jazz All Stars Power Quartet with Eugene Pao on saxophone, on guitar, Mark Kiripat on saxophone, So Wen Ming on drums, and myself on the Hammond organ. And I'm gonna play the last performance in Singapore in December at my Jazzy Christmas concert, when I had the great singer Vanessa Rubin, who I've been playing with since 1985. Can you imagine all these years? And on and off we performed together since then. She's gone on to record albums on major labels, and we've stayed friends all this time. And she has grown so much as a performer, and really, it's always so invigorating to perform with her. Also in the band is young Sean Hongwei on the saxophone, and young Ben Poe on the bass as well, and my good friend Sean Kelly on the drums. And with that, I'd like to end the show and to say to you, thanks for joining At Home with Jeremy Monteiro. Please stay tuned for Thursday nights at home at Jeremy Monteiro's virtual piano bar, when I just play and sing for you and take your, I don't take your request, but I do banter with you and chit chat with you. And also this coming Saturday, please join me for this very special program on Here 65. I will share it on my page as well. But you can go to Bandwagon Singapore and you can check out their page. And wonderful performers. Joanna Dong is performing. And also in my segment, I have the great Singaporean jazz singer Jacinta joining me, along with Melissa Tam and LMA Fernandez. It's going to be a great set. Please join me at 7:30 as well. So this week, you get to see me 3 times. Please don't get bored of me, and please keep coming back. And now here's Vanessa Rubin and my band performing Speak Low. Thank you very much, everyone, and good night.
Time summer day, weather's way too soon. Speak low, when you speak low, I'm moving it swift like ships adrift. We're swept apart too soon. Speak low, when you speak low, love is a spark lost in the dark too soon. What I feel wherever I go, that tomorrow is here, tomorrow is near, and always too soon. Time is so old and love so brief. My love is pure gold and time's a thief. When we're late, don't you know we're late, pretty baby? The curtain is thin, everything is too soon. But I'll wait, don't you know I will wait for you. But please speak low to me. Come on, speak low to me. Speak low. Speak low to me. Make it soon. 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 Speak low to me. I want you to make love to me. Make it soon. Yeah, we gonna make it real soon. Make it soon. Make it soon, yeah. Make it soon. 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 Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Vanessa Rubin, Sean Kelly.